And I got 20 years for it.
Lamarck had that choice from the very first day. He made the choice to do what he wanted to do. We never denied him nothing.
I grew up in Pritchard with my grandmother, my mother. Lived there all my life. Slum area, ghetto, full of drugs, prostitution, murders. Basically just a straight ghetto.
Mother signed him over to his great-grandmother, and she had control of him. There was no man in the house for him growing up. So he was around a bunch of ladies.
I didn't grow up with a father or uncles or nothing like that, no father figure. So I looked up to the Bloods as like role model. I joined at a young age. It was more so like a family to me, you know what I'm saying?
See, I wouldn't know what a Blood is, I've never dealt with gangs, you know, so I was blind about all that. I would go and try to pick the boy up on weekends. Not one weekend went by that he came stay with me, that his great-grandmama didn't call my house as soon as we got him to the house. She never gave him the chance to stay with her. And once he got up, 12, 13, then she wants to go and call me. Want me to chastise the child or something. I would have had to fight him and all this here to get him, and I just couldn't see it. I mean, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been worse, I think, with me and him than it is now.
Unlike Mark's father, Robbie Craig's dad was around in the early years. But Randy Craig, a former and feared penitentiary captain, was not adverse to knocking his son around and disowned him at the age of 14.
He ran our household like he ran the prison. He was in charge of riot control at the institution he was working at. He would dress up in riot gear and practice movements with his baton, with me.
We'd set up surveillance here at the maintenance shop. Inside the cabinet shop was an inmate by the name of Robbie Craig.
They came in and told me that they were going to set up hidden cameras and that if they seen Sergeant Anderson break the law in any way, that they would be there to stop it. Well, as soon as he exposed himself, I'm like, ha, got him. This man's being caught red-handed, but they don't come out. They don't rush in. It ended up being like 22 minutes. But finally, when they came running in, you know, and Inspector Pacioli with his badge held high, you know, Sergeant Anderson with his pants down, putting the cuffs on. That was a good feeling, and it made me smile.
When we found Anderson, he insisted he was only trying to be a friend to Robbie Craig. He now lives 10 miles downstream from the prison, making ends meet as a fishing guide.
I'm still having heart problems. The publicity and all that went along with everything, it just destroyed, it like to destroy my family.
He had to give up his state certification to work at the correctional facility. Here, I find out this man didn't spend one night in jail. He didn't go to jail. He didn't go to prison. Nothing happened to him. He got his hand slapped, he lost his job, and he's still out there on the street.
Things happen that screw people up, and I can't believe that someone that you try to help would actually stab you in the back.
Me and my niggas finna shine tonight. Me and my niggas finna shine tonight. Yeah, we finna dig up. One more, get it. Tonight. We finna dig up in your spine tonight. Yeah, me and my niggas finna shine tonight.
So this particular guy was here before. He was a Blood. In Alabama, you know what I'm saying, a lot of places, you know what I'm saying, they don't believe in a white guy being a Blood.
That situation there was really fucked up. The guy, he was a Blood, true enough. When I arrived at the prison, I was introduced to him. I had feelings for him, lust. At first, it kind of struck me, you know what I'm saying? They were telling me, hey man, this white dude, he's Blood also, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like, well, hell, he had to show some type of heart. But by us acknowledging him as Blood, I pushed that lust to the side.
As far as Bloods come, they wasn't with that shit. They had told Lamarck and JG time and time after again, you know, you need to quit fucking with them sissies because, you know, that's making us look bad.
It was football season, you know, and every motherfucking prison gonna watch football. So
this guy in particular, he had He had painted a lot of satanic stuff on the wall inside one of the dorms here.
The captain and the lieutenant, they come around to do daily inspections of the whole dorm. So they go in the closet and they see all this shit painted on the wall, and they go off. I mean, they have a fit. Until we find out who vandalized his room, there'll be no football.
But he's a blood, so nobody can't go cludge him out.
Another blood come to me, say, hey man, you know who put that shit in that room? I said, nah, who? So he tells me, he say, Blood did it, the little white boy. So I'm like, what?
Once again, Mark sees the opportunity to begin his mind games.
I walk him around the prison compound, we talk. I basically let him know, you know what I'm saying, how I had felt betrayed by what he did. Basically, I just made him feel guilty. I started to put my plan into making. So I let him know that I want him to be with me. I let him know that I want to have sex with him. I let him know I want to lay with him.
Been drinking, been smoking some reefer or whatever, and I go to my little brother's cell, or I call him my little brother Mark.
This is my righteous dog, you know what I'm saying? He comes in.
So I asked him, I said, man, you know what you did could have got a lot of people messed up. So he like, yeah.
He doesn't make it any better. He jumps right in.
I said, what if we rape you right now? How will you like that?
He started crying and begging and pleading, you know what I'm saying? Mark, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to. But at this time, you know what I'm saying, I'm out of control. I don't want to hear nothing, no talk.
My little brother, he jump up and he slap him real hard. And he done got serious because he really wanted to be with this person all alone.
I tell him to turn around. So he turns, he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to turn all the way around. So I said, bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw. So he turns around.
Like put his hands against the wall, like spread them like the police will make you spread them.
I tell him to take his pants off. He doesn't want to do it. I punch him in the face. You know what I'm saying? I squeeze his ass cheeks. 2 handfuls. He tenses up, you know. So I take my pants off. I mean, he's just sitting here the whole time. I had a pair of red and white Jordans.